All right, in this video, I'm going to go over how to find the equation of a line in slope-intercept form if you're only given 2 coordinate points. So you guys know that the slope-intercept form for a line is y equals mx plus b. And you have to plug in m and you have to plug in b. But if you're given 2 coordinate points, you're not given either one of these pieces of information. So you have to solve for both of them. And the one you solve for first is the slope. Because you guys learned in the beginning of this unit that you can find the slope by using the slope formula. So the first thing I'm going to do is go over these coordinate points and label them x1, y1, x2, y2. I'm going to write down my slope formula, and I'm going to solve for the slope. Now, you guys learned this earlier in the unit, so I'm going to go pretty fast through this part. Okay, once I find my slope, now I know that this point's on the line, this point's on the line, and the slope is negative 1/12. So what do I have to solve for next? The y-intercept. I'm going to start by writing down my equation, y equals mx plus b, and I'm going to plug in one of these points, doesn't matter which one. I'll choose this one because there's no negative signs. And I'm going to plug in my newly found slope. So here we go. 4 equals negative 1/12 times 6 plus b. 4 equals negative a half plus b. Add a half to both sides. 4 1/2 equals b. So now I know that here's my m, here's my b, and I can write my equation. Y equals negative 1/12 x plus 4 1/2. All right, so I'm going to do this again. Okay, you have 2 coordinate points. What's the first thing you can solve for? Slope. So you write down the slope formula. You label your points. And you guys know how to find the slope, so I'm going to go through this part pretty quickly. And I found out that the slope is 3/2. So now I know this point's on the line, this point's on the line, and my slope is 3/2. So what's next? I need to solve for the y-intercept. So I'm going to start by writing down y equals mx plus b, and I can choose either one of these points to plug in. I'll choose the first one, and I need to plug in my slope. So that's going to look like negative 3 equals 3/2 times negative 8 plus b. Negative 3 equals negative 12 plus b. And I'm going to solve for b. And I get 9. So now that I know my m is, and I know what my y-intercept is, I can write the equation for the line. Y equals 3/2 x plus 9. All right, one more example problem. This problem says, for a science experiment, Jordan measured the height of their plant every week. She recorded the information in the table below. Assuming the graph is linear, write an equation, y equals mx plus b, which is slope-intercept form, to represent the height y of the plant after x weeks. Well, I know that x is weeks, and I know that y is the height, and what they basically just gave you are 2 coordinate points. So I'm going to label this is my x1, y1, this is my x2, y2, and of course I'm going to solve for my slope first. And then I'm going to solve for my y-intercept second. So I'm going to start by writing down the slope formula. I'm going to solve for my slope. You guys know how to do this, so I'm going pretty quickly through it. And I got 3. So now I know that m equals 3. So now I'm going to write y equals mx plus b. I'm going to choose either one of these points to plug in. I'll just choose the first one. And I'm going to plug in my slope. So I have 15 equals 3 times 5 plus b. 15 equals 15 plus b. Whoop. There we go. Subtract 15, subtract 15. 0 equals b. So what this means is the plant started out at a height of 0, which actually makes sense because when plants start out, they're just seeds, right? So if you know that y equals mx plus b, and you plug in what information we just found, the answer is going to be y equals 3x. I I hope this was helpful. Please see me if you have any other questions.